Welcome to the first episode of Access SCC in 2016. With a new year comes a new look to our show.
We hope you'll enjoy it, along with the updates we had to share, like new equipment in Studio A, as well as class and event promos.
And we'll talk about how to safely use your gear in the winter. Stay tuned, Access SCC starts right now. For over 30 years, SCC producers have been flooding the channels with original programming, right from here, the SCC studio. This is where producers get their hands on everything they need to get their message, both live and recorded, onto your screen. Check out this promo to see how easy it is to get a show on the road.
Alright, let's get this show underway. How are my graphics looking? Graphics are looking good. Is everyone mic'd and checked? Audio's good to go. And host ready? 10-4. Okay, folks, brace yourselves. Hit record. Roll intro. Count them in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to One Man's Band.
Hey everyone, Ted here with TED Talks, catching you up with all things SCC. Now, Suburban Community Channels 2016 grant program has officially rolled out. Grant information and materials are available now for you and anyone who could use some cold hard cash for their production. And I said cold hard cash. The skinny is that any individual or nonprofit organization residing in one of our 11 communities within the RWSCC cable service territory are eligible and may apply for an SCC Public Access grant for up to $1,200. SCC Public Access grant program was set up to encourage and creation and dissemination of locally produced public access programming, broaden participation in public access, and improve and enhance technical quality and creativity. Grant application packets are available on Monday, January 4th, 2016, with a deadline of Saturday, January 30th, 2016 at 6 p.m. The grant packet is available for pickup at your SCC Community Media Center, as well as online at scctv.org. Now, additionally, if you have been allocated a 2016 SCC Series time slot, be sure to submit a completed 2016 compliance form for that show. This form must be submitted and on file to enable your program to be transmitted on SCC Public Access Channels 14 and 15 for the 2016 programming year. If you don't have a time slot yet, but are interested in getting one, you can just visit us online at scctv.org or come by the SCC studios and get more information. Moving on. We now have more reason than ever to sign up to take our SCC orientation session. It's 100% free, and the session you'll learn all there is to know about SCC, from VIP items to grants to how to submit programming. And on top of that, we're now offering any producer who signs up and attends the orientation session 7 VIP points. That means all you have to do is either do a studio shoot, an edit suite checkout, or check out some gear. And then after that, you'll be on your way to getting 10 points to collecting some great VIP incentive items. What more could you ask for? Not much. More good news, we now have, or will soon have, some new equipment here at the SCC facility. Studio A will be outfitted with a new monitor, just like the one behind me on the studio floor. A new audio board for the control room, as well as a multi-viewer to replace the old school black and white monitors in the control room. Ben's gonna hate that, because as much as Ben loves those BW monitors, they gotta go. And for field equipment, we've added a third flow light. That's a nice LED 3-point lighting kit and a new lightweight, easy to use travel jib, so you can quickly and efficiently get those professional jib shots, just like Antoine does all the time, and all like the ones you've always dreamed about. All these new pieces of equipment will help you producers in the field and enhancing your productions. Stay tuned, because later in the show, Andrea will have a great bit more about those new equipment items. Lastly, SCC has modified our program submission rules for SCC Public Access Channels 14 and 15. Completed program submissions for channels 14 and 15 must be submitted or in the master control folder a minimum of 3 studio open days in advance of your desired program playback date. This is a change from the previous 5-day advance submission rule. That's actually good. 3 days beats 5 days. Examples of a 3-day submission rule are: if you want your program to play on a Saturday, you must submit the completed program on DVD or digital file by the studio closing time on the previous Wednesday. Or, if you want your program to start playing on a Monday, you must submit the completed program by the studio closing time on the previous Thursday. And so on and so forth. It all makes sense though. Only the studio open days are counted when computing a submitted program's compliance with this new submission rule. This change from 5 days to 3 days was done to provide you, the SCC producer and public access program providers, with the greatest amount of scheduling flexibility for your public access programs. Now, as always, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact a friendly SCC staff person at 651-747-3830 or stop by the studio. Thanks, and that's all for TED Talks at SCC. We'll see you next time.
As you may have noticed, winter is upon us here in Minnesota. For those of you using our field equipment, we would like to remind you of some do's and don'ts of using the gear in colder temperatures. Let's take a look.
How did things go?
Well, it was going well, but about halfway through, my camera started slowing down and just stopped working.
Were you outside shooting in under 32-degree weather?
Yeah, for like 4 hours.
How did things go?
It went pretty well. It was below 32 degrees outside, so we only shot outside for short periods of time and brought the camera inside frequently to warm it up and protect it from the weather.
See the difference? Let's try another scenario.
Returning the gear, I had some grocery shopping to do, so I left it in the car for the past few hours. I hope that's all right.
This gear is ice cold. Like, this tripod has frost on it.
Returning the gear, I had some grocery shopping to do, so I left it at home where it was safe from theft and cold temperatures until I was able to return it.
See how well that went? Let's try one more.
Here's the camera.
This bag it's soaked through, it's dripping.
Yeah, well, I left it on a snowbank while we were shooting. Here's the camera.
Oh wow, this bag is in great shape.
Well, yeah, since it's snowing outside, I made sure to bring a tarp to put all the gear on to keep it safe and dry.
See how well your check-ins can go if you follow these winter shooting guidelines? If you have any questions about shooting in these colder temperatures, see a friendly SCC staff member.
Hi, my name is Frank.
Camera shy? Well, get over it by coming to SCC's Open Mic Night. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., SCC hosts Open Mic Night Live, a great opportunity for all community members to get heard. You don't have to be certified to use our equipment. SCC staff will work the controls for you. You just have to come with something to say. You can even dance, play music, read a book, whatever you want to share with the public live on local channel 15, you can do it. So join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. at Suburban Community Channels for Open Mic Night. See you there. SCC is not liable for the content that is said, played, acted out, read, or displayed during Open Mic Night.
Mark your calendars, January 19th is officially the premiering night of SCC Game Night. Join us at the edge of your seat as we play video games, board games, and card games with other members from our community.
For those of you who use SCC's Studio A, we have some exciting developments to share. We have installed a new DVI port for video playout from the control room, and we have some exciting new updates coming soon. This next segment will give you all the info you need to use these new tools. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello and welcome to the show. Before we begin tonight, we're going to look at a great lighting tutorial from Access SCC.
You have to play the video.
Oh, sorry, here we go. Okay, that isn't right. Sorry folks, I'm a little confused here. I'll get it figured out.
Is this happening to you? Well, we have some good news. SCC has recently installed a new DVI port in Studio A's control room. This connection works with our checkout Mac laptop, or you can bring your own Mac laptop from home. Simply connect the DVI cable located directly next to the switcher. To bring the display to program, select the DVI button on the scaler, then punch up the scaler on the switcher's program bus. If you require audio as well, plug the audio cable into the headphones port. Bring up the two sliders labeled DVI laptop when the video plays. You can also use the laptop to show photos, play your own music, view websites, or whatever else you'd like to share on your show.
This is so great. Okay, let's try this again. 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to the show. Before we begin tonight, we're going to show a quick lighting tutorial.
For more questions about using the new DVI input or any playout options in Studio A, ask a friendly SCC staff person.
In our November Producers Club, we were excited to host documentary filmmaker Matt Ealing for a great lighting demonstration. If you missed it, you can watch the entire thing on our YouTube channel or check out a DVD from our media library. But here now is a recap of that Producers Club.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just go through a real basic interview scenario, but it's going to cover other concepts that are relevant to other stuff. So what I've got right here is I've set up my shot. We have a shot that's got a foreground subject. We got a little bit of background ornamentation in there to deal with. And I'm at my low gain setting. And we've got the iris pretty much wide open right now. So this is kind of where I want to start anyway. And so the first thing that we want to think about is, what do we have in the room that's affecting us right now? The only thing that's on is this cyc light here that's hitting this wall. It's giving us a little bit of a backlight right there. Ideally, you want to get rid of that, but we're going to leave it on right now just so we can see and tape what's going on. As we start to turn other stuff on, we may get rid of that if we're going to be able to see okay. The very first thing you want to think about is where is your source light coming from? And that's going to be the same whether you're making an interview shot or you're thinking about making a movie where you've got a huge room that you're trying to think of. There's always going to be one main source light that's driving the logic of what's happening lighting-wise, and that's called the key light in film parlance. So what we're doing here is for an interview, I tend to put the key light on the opposite side of the screen, basically where the negative space is. So we're setting up this interview so that our subject is going to be looking over here. We assume we've got an interviewer over here. And then we're going to set the key light on the side where you get the negative space. So you can see we've got this big space over on the right side, and that's where we're going to put our key from. Now, things that are interesting to think about here is that not only we're thinking about directionality of light, but we also have to think about what's in the frame that's going to reflect light, right? And what do we have here? We have glasses, which are always a consideration because you have to kind of change the direction of the light depending on what's going to reflect in the scene. So I'm going to establish where my key light is, and just for the purposes of discussion, we'll put it right here. It's going to be almost parallel to our subject, and it's going to really light up this side of the face first, and it's going to be our strongest light source in this scene. Now, what I've done here is that we've used basically bounce into this umbrella, and the reason why is that I tend to want to have, for interview kind of portrait work, I want to have a nice soft fill or a nice soft key light that's going to be the main source, because the harder the light is, like this is a very hard light. It's just going to be, if I put this directly on somebody, it's going to cast really big shadows. It's going to not be very flattering. The more that you diffuse light by bouncing it, the more flattering it becomes. It creates less harsh shadows. So let's see if my theory works here. Okay, so now we've turned it on. And this is our source light here. Let's have you look over here, sir. And we get a little bit, we're going to talk about two things here. First, we're going to talk about, oh, thanks. So the first thing we're to consider is, are we putting too much light on the subject? Are we putting too little light on the subject? Because we have to kind of set our exposure and our iris depending on what we're doing right here. Now, there's a couple of different ways we can think about this. We can either close down the iris, and right about there, we're starting to normally expose. But I am noticing that in the highlights of the face, even when I start to close down this to a normal exposure, I'm getting some kind of patchy white stuff, and that's because I've just got a lot of volume of light coming on this guy. So I'm going to move it backwards. So if somebody can move that chair there, we're just going to drag that key light backwards about 2 more feet. That's pretty good. Okay, and if you can look right here, sir. Okay, so now I'm going to open my iris back up just a little bit, and I think we're getting a little better scenario there, where we've got a little more detail in the cheek. It's holding it pretty good, and I'm liking the way it looks. The other thing that's nice is that as you saw earlier, when that was closer, we were getting more reflection up in the corner of this gentleman's glasses. We still get a little bit right here. And if you talk and kind of move your head a little bit, and let's see what your glasses do. Yep, see, there's a problem right there. That's something we're going to have to be really aware of when we have somebody with glasses who is the subject of the interview. So generally, you're going to want to try to move the key higher if you've got somebody with glasses. And let's have you kind of swing your head back and forth a little bit. Most of the time you're going to be looking here, and then just kind of rotate back and forth like that. So it's a little less intense there. And you can continue to chase this till you get it right. I used to do a lot of stuff for the Criterion Collection, shooting the director and producer interviews for their DVDs. And when we have there's some people would come in. The guy, I can't think of his name right now, but the guy who directed Last Picture Show, he would do a bunch of this stuff, and his glasses were like fish bowls, and so it was really, really difficult to light him. We'd have to get all the key lights up really, really high. But that's one way to deal with that, and it's something to be aware of. Now the other stuff here that we're going to think about is, let's get rid of that backlight now that we have our key light up, just to see, hopefully that doesn't cause too much havoc for our guys in the booth there. Is that still going to be okay, guys? Okay.
White balance is great for that.
Yeah. Yep, that's the other thing that we're thinking about here. What I did is, we haven't dealt with our white balance yet, but that's the next thing we're going to think about, because we've got our key light established, and we now know what the base level kind of illumination that's going to be in the scene is. So let's go ahead and do our white balance. And we're going to get the white balance pulled off of that key light. So if you just want to hold that up by your face. And kind of open it up so that it's facing towards the, yeah, there we go. Now we'll get the balance going. Good.
Did you know that SCC hosts an open mic night every Thursday? This live program is a great opportunity to get your message out to the community. This next segment will tell you all about it.
Four, three, two.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Open Mic Night. I am Nathan Newman. It is Thursday, June 12th, 2014. We do this every Thursday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Open Mic Night is a great opportunity to get your message out there and be heard.
Well, Open Mic Night is an opportunity for individuals to come in and express your opinions and ideas, and whether it's 5 minutes or 10, it lets you learn how to and experience being in front of a camera and getting your opinions out to the public.
I use open mic night to promote anything that I have going on, wrestling shows that I do, talk about stocks, talk about any wrestling shows that I've gone to. The first match of the night was Sheamus taking on Wade Barrett. That was the opener, and that was probably the best match of the night. He won with a brogue kick, which is his finisher.
I use open mic night to promote my show, my TV show Speechless, which is on about an hour and a half later. This is Tim Kinley, host of Speechless, which is live at 8 o'clock tonight. On tonight's show, we're going to be discussing some stuff that I didn't get to last week, the 25th anniversary of Tiananmen Square. Also, I was in a court case, observing a court case yesterday down in Dakota County, Hastings Courthouse. I also use open mic night to inform people about things that they may not hear about, and then they'll be interested in watching my show. But if they don't have the time, it will prick their conscience, prick their brain to say, boy, there's something I need to research, I need to know more about. I think the people that would benefit from coming to open mic night are anybody that wants to get involved in television, that wants to be in front of a camera, that has an opinion, that needs practice, that has not experienced this type of being in front of a TV.
Who do I think would benefit from coming to open mic night? Well, everybody. And if you're already in the SCC area and you do a show here, then you have no excuse to not be here on Thursday nights.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to open mic night again. This is Tim Kinley, host of Speechless, which is live.
That's all we have for you for our January-February Access SCC. You can learn more about all we have to offer by visiting our website.
Stay up to date with news and events by following SCC on our social media pages.
Sign up for classes and events by visiting the studio or giving us a call. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
To use these new tools. Sorry, I wrote that sentence weird. I'll do it again.
Hello and welcome to the show.
Onto your screen. Check out this promo. You see how easily it is to get a show on the road.
Sorry, I can't say November.
Of some do's and don'ts about using our gear.
Yeah, for like 4 hours. Don't look at the camera.